Number 8. Brianna Dean. On April the 27th of 2019, Florida woman Brianna Dean was arrested at her Pasco County residence for allegedly extorting 26-year-old Christian Belanga Lepenin. According to the latter's account of the events, 24-year-old Dean, his ex-girlfriend, had gained access to his social media accounts and subsequently uncovered explicit pictures of him. She threatened to post them online unless he paid her an undisclosed amount of money. Belanga Lepenin attempted to block her from his accounts but discovered that she'd changed his passwords. The day after her arrest, Dean was released upon posting her $10,000 bail. She outright denied the allegations, accusing her ex of being abusive during their relationship, as well as breaking into her house shortly before she was detained. Police records confirmed that the young man was arrested for breaking and entering at some point following Dean's release. According to deputies involved in the case, Belanga Lepenin had broken into the young woman's apartment an hour before her arrest. She went on to tell her version of events on Facebook, explaining how her ex-boyfriend had shoved her before leaving the premises. Dean admitted to having had access to the man's old phone, but indicated that she hadn't obtained it maliciously. Belanga Lepenin had allegedly offered it to her after her own cell phone had stopped working. The pair both have histories of arrests and convictions, including past instances of disorderly conduct and careless driving. Number 7. Miana Malin Smith and Anthony Michael DiBaccio. Miana Malin Smith and Anthony Michael DiBaccio, residents of Belmont County, Ohio, were arrested in connection to a double homicide that occurred on September the 26th of 2021. In the ensuing police investigation, it was determined that the pair had allegedly attempted to extort the victims, Thomas and Angela Strusian, before they were murdered by a third party. The Strusian couple's bodies had been discovered at their home when the fire department responded to reports of a house fire a week prior to the blackmailer's eventual arrests. Detectives obtained a search warrant for 31-year-old DiBaccio's house, whereupon they discovered evidence that suggested Thomas Strusian had paid $25,000 to keep his affair with 25-year-old Smith a secret. The latter claimed that she hadn't been aware of DiBaccio's plan to extort money from her former lover. After being tried separately for the alleged extortion, both defendants were sentenced to the maximum term of 3 years in prison. As of the case's latest developments, neither Smith nor DiBaccio had been implicated in the Strusian's death, and no other suspects had yet been identified. Number 6. Matthew Ross White. A 26-year-old man from Cape York, Australia, broke into Donna Steele's apartment in August of 2017 with the intention of extorting criminals he believed her to be associated with. The suspect, Matthew Ross White, had lived near Steele for several years prior to the home invasion, during which time he'd come to know that she dealt with illegal substances in some capacity. Investigators subsequently concluded that what had started as a plan to kidnap the woman and use her as leverage against drug dealers in the area ended with her death after she'd attempted to fight off her assailant. 42-year-old Steele's body was discovered in a crocodile-infested area of the Endeavor River days after being reported missing by her family. A subsequent autopsy revealed strangulation to have been her cause of death, and the police determined that White had attempted to cover up the inadvertent crime by taking her body to the river and weighing it down with 8 rocks to keep it from floating up to the surface. Over 200 pieces of evidence were collected, making it one of the biggest police investigations in the region's history. During questioning, White allegedly admitted to murdering Steele but then recanted his incriminating statement soon afterwards. He initially entered a plea of not guilty to his murder charges. However, when the jury was presented with the recording of his initial confession on the second day of his trial, White requested to change his plea to guilty. On August the 21st of 2019, the man was sentenced to life in prison. Number 5. Christopher Wall. On November the 3rd of 2017, Texas man Christopher Wall paid a pair of women in their early 20s a sum of $8,000 to keep them from releasing an incriminating video of him. The young women in question, Ashley Pahorance and Krista McClellan, allegedly extorted the 33-year-old man after recording him requesting intimate favors while receiving a massage. After they were given the initial sum, they reportedly demanded a second payment. The following day, Wall agreed to meet them at a bank parking lot 20 miles away from his hometown of Fort Worth. Upon his arrival, the man pulled out a gun and proceeded to gun down both Pahorance and McClellan before fleeing the scene. Police were alerted to the situation by a passerby and eventually tracked down Wall, arresting him at his parents' house. During the ensuing murder trial, Wall's lawyer claimed he'd been acting in self-defense during the fatal incident, as the two women had not only been extorting him but allegedly threatened to kidnap his daughter and force her into prostitution. On July the 19th of 2022, after deliberating for 6 hours, the jury found Wall guilty of 2 counts of capital murder, and an automatic sentence of life without parole was thereby pronounced by presiding judge Craig Towson. Number 4. Jane Warfield. During a Facebook live stream on the night of February 18th of 2020, 40-year-old Jane Warfield admitted to having tried to extort $5,000 from her former lover. In the 17-minute-long video, the Indianapolis resident mocked the man's orientation, claiming that after forgetting her phone at his house one night, she'd returned to find him engaged in intimate relations with another man. Warfield expressed her disgust at the discovery and openly admitted that she demanded money in exchange for her silence. In retaliation for the man's subsequent refusal, the woman posted his picture as well as his name and place of employment. Although as of recent updates the video was still available to view online, the Facebook post itself has since been deleted. Throughout the derisive recording, Warfield used several derogatory terms to refer to her ex, but assured her viewers that she was making the video because she feared for her life. She further insisted that if anything bad happened to her, her former lover would undoubtedly be the culprit. Hours after the live stream ended, while she was on her way home, Warfield found herself being chased by an unknown assailant. Witnesses reported that she'd been traveling at speeds of up to 100 miles per hour before being shot, leading to a multiple car crash that claimed her life. As of the latest developments, no suspects had been named in her killing. Number 3. Ava Blige. Between January of 2019 and October of 2020, Las Vegas woman Ava Blige extorted over $12 million from her former lover and mentor, Christopher Terry, threatening to disclose secrets she'd discovered about him during their relationship. The couple's romantic involvement had started in 2016, but when it eventually turned sour, Blige refused to give up the life of luxury she'd adopted. She demanded jewelry, cars, and money from Terry, having come to expect up to $100,000 per day as payment for her silence by the time of her arrest. Las Vegas police were alerted to the untenable situation by Terry's lawyers and began building a case against Blige, which eventually led to her arrest on September the 30th of 2021. Blige was thereupon charged with extortion as well as 14 counts of money laundering. Investigators discovered over 25,000 messages exchanged between Blige and Terry, including a text from the former in which she stated, "Whatever Ava wants, Ava gets." She'd also recorded several of their phone calls without Terry's consent, which is illegal in the state of Nevada. Today's topic was requested by Jonathan Cole and Starchild729. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. Number 2. Robert Hoffman. On October the 10th of 2017, a businessman from Alberta, Canada, received a threatening letter demanding a payment of $1 million. The letter, sent by 59-year-old Robert Hoffman, stated that someone would die if he didn't receive the money by the following day. The businessman's identity hasn't been released to the public due to a publication ban dictated by the court. The next day, 61-year-old James Satry was found stabbed to death, although subsequent reports indicated that he didn't have any connections to the extortion victim, who'd immediately contacted the police about the threats. During the days that followed, Hoffman sent letters to several other Alberta residents, including news agencies, claiming he'd continued to kill until his demands were met. An investigation was subsequently launched, leading detectives to Hoffman's house, where they discovered multiple pieces of incriminating evidence, including a laptop, memory sticks, and a shredder. Copies of the letters that had been sent to the extortion victim were found in Hoffman's computer, and forensic investigators were able to match his DNA to the murder scene. In March of 2021, Hoffman was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Number 1. Peter Bruton. 27-year-old Peter Bruton had been staying at his friend James Green's apartment in Norwich, England, when a violent altercation broke out on the night of June the 4th of 2019. Green, aged 39, had accused his friend of owing him $10 and attempted to extort the money out of him, citing Bruton's documented history of substance abuse. The latter violently attacked his blackmailer, choking him with his bare hands. Police arrived after receiving reports about the incident at the apartment, where they came upon Green unresponsive. He was rushed to the hospital but died 2 days later after suffering multiple organ failure. Bruton was arrested and charged with murder but denied any involvement despite the overwhelming evidence against him. In the case's legal proceedings, the prosecution didn't deny the wrongs Green had done by extorting his friend, but instead focused their argument on the extreme violence of the resulting attack. Throughout the trial, Bruton showed no remorse for his actions. He even yawned at one point during the procedures and refused to show up to court in what the judge referred to as an attempt to frustrate and disrupt the criminal process. On June the 22nd of 2021, he was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 15 years. Thanks for watching. If you were extorted into giving up either your non-dominant hand or your non-dominant foot, which would you choose? Let us know in the comments section below.